We're 8th in the Premier League, and if this series was just about building Bournemouth, I would be super happy with how we're doing. But as things stand, we are trying to win Premier Leagues. But right now, I am panicking. I need to be changing up the tactics, and I don't know what I'm doing. I've pressed a lot of buttons, and I'm hoping that it will work. Hello guys, and welcome back to the third episode of Replicating Ranieri, where today we are playing two matches in the Premier League up against Newcastle and then Burnley, both away from home, but both very winnable games, and hopefully we do exactly that and get 6 points onto the table. Before we jump into the episode, make sure you like and subscribe if you are new to this channel. Also, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support so far. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you are all enjoying the series as it stands right now. Let's take a look at those tactics that I was just talking about in the wee intro thingamajiggy. But I'm not feeling confident about it. A lot of injuries have hit us lately. A lot of injuries have hit us throughout this entire series, but most notably, Ryan Fraser has picked up a 5 to 7 month injury with a broken lower leg. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened, but he's picked it up and we need to deal with it. I've just realised that Nemanja Matic is on the reserves. He should certainly be at least on the bench. Might even chuck him into the starting lineup. Yeah, no, actually, that's a pretty good squad as things stand. Since last time out, things haven't been going great, and that is exactly why I'm panicking a wee bit. If you take a look at the results, a loss, a loss, a loss, a loss, a draw, and only one win in these entire 2 months. Not great stuff, and it is the reason why we are dropping down in the Premier League just a little bit. A draw against Manchester United isn't the worst result we've ever seen, but it was due to a 63rd minute sending off from Paul Pogba. I actually tried to record that episode and I got all the recording done. I was just uploading it, but the fact that I run my laptop on a potato, it unfortunately corrupted, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen in this game. Slightly less important game for us against Newcastle and Burnley, but you know, every game is important when you are gunning for the Premier League. Let's jump straight into this first game. Hopefully we do come away with all 3 points. We're not even the favourites for this match, so that makes me a little bit concerned, especially considering Newcastle are down in 19th place. But either way, I'm feeling confident. I hope that you guys are. I don't know why you would be, but I hope that you guys are. Let's come away with all 3 points. Oh, Newcastle are using 5 at the back. If you guys have been subscribed to the channel for a while, you'll know that I absolutely hate it because we're terrible at breaking it down. But whenever I use it for me, it does absolutely nothing to stop the defence, and they always score goals. But in this episode so far, we've broken it down within the first few minutes. Callum Wilson with the goal. Absolutely shocking reaction time. You know, I was like, you know what, I'm committing to this 5 at the back chat. You know, let's keep talking about this and then we can deal with the goal. You know, Callum Wilson scores on a daily basis. It's not important. Let's focus on the important stuff. Me whinging and moaning because I'm bad at this game. Newcastle trying to come straight back at us with another chance, and Saint Maximin shoots it just wide. Very good young prospect in real life, and maybe in this game. I'm actually not that sure. Never signed him. If you have, let me know down in the comments, because I'm actually curious now. Piqued my curiosity with that wee comment that I made. We have an opportunity now. This is a back and forth game. Callum Wilson through on goal there, but he can't quite get a shot past the defenders. What was that pronunciation? Callum Wilson? Sounded like one of those people that has a lisp. No disrespect if you have a lisp. Just, you know, completely roasting myself for not speaking English properly. Turan stepping over the free kick, getting into the right area, but unfortunately Callum Wilson can't bag his second goal of the game. Turan got that first assist, so maybe he can get a second assist. Again, justifying why I start Turan. I tell you what, he's an absolutely footballing genius. He's played alongside Messi. Surely a bit of that's rubbed off on him. And I'm not saying that Turan's as good as Messi, but you know, I'm not saying that he isn't the second coming of Messi or anything. If you take a look at his stats, he is a pretty incredible man. He is on the ball right now. Plays it back to Kelly. What a pass. Any of our other players would have passed that completely to the wrong side. And Turan, of course, passes it exactly where he wanted it to go. Is Wilson going to be able to break down this attack? He can't actually get the... I thought that was going to be one of the ones where he blocked it. But straight away, Turan puts in a ball, Callum Wilson puts it into the back of the net, a bit of a repeat of the last goal, link-up play going on between them. I'm seeing a green link starting to form, even though you don't get green links from a left winger and a striker, but I'll tell you what, Turan is absolutely confirming what I've been saying about him. All that Messi quality is rubbing off on him, although I don't think he's played with Messi for quite a few years. He is playing very well for us lately. King, through on goal now, just needs to get a little bit more pace on him. I know he's got it in the locker, but unfortunately he didn't whip it out there. It's completely got caught up by the left back from Newcastle, and unfortunately that chance does go away. Newcastle almost get in from a corner, but now we do stay on 2-0 advantage, and this is a very good game so far. I'm happy with the tactical changes I've made. If you guys want to know how I do my tactics, I basically just take a look at the preset ones and press some buttons and see what works. Honestly, I don't Google it, I don't watch videos about the best tactics, I just do my own thing and hope and pray that it works. Honestly, this is exactly why this kind of a challenge is not exactly for the kind of person like me, someone that's a casual football manager player. Well, I say casual football manager player, I upload daily videos on this game. Luckily, we haven't come away with a penalty against us there. Gosh, talk. Half-time rolls around, and that was a pretty eventful first half. A lot of shots from both squads, but luckily for us, all of the goals going our way. 2-0 advantage at half-time, and I'm very happy with the way that the boys are playing, especially this young man over here. Well, I say young man, I think he's about 33 years of age, 32 years of age. You know what? He is still young. Oh my gosh, 2-star current ability. Are you serious? Football manager, sort your stuff out. Come on. You need to make him better. He's definitely one of the best wingers we have in our squad, and I have signed a lot of wingers in the save. Wilson, Zivkovic, King. Not all the people that I've signed, but they're all wingers and they all play for our squad, and Turan is definitely playing better than all of them right now. Hopefully he can keep it up, and hopefully we can do something in the second half. Nothing's happened just yet, but you best believe you guys will be the first people to know about it if something does happen. And there we go, something has happened. Callum Wilson's going to step up to the spot and try and get a hat-trick. He's going to put it into the back of the net. I was about to say he's going to put it into the back of the net, and I was very frightened that Dubravka was going to save that, but luckily for me, I don't have to look like any more of an idiot than I normally do in these episodes, and he does put it into the back of the net, just like I expected. A good clearance by one of the Newcastle boys does put it all the way back to Butland. I mean, it was a good clearance, but I don't know if it was the smartest thing to do ever in the game of football. Let's keep going with this highlight though. We have another opportunity. Hopefully we can put it up to 4-0. That would make me feel very confident using this new tactic that I've absolutely thought through. You know, I calculated everything. I knew this tactic would work perfectly, and by that obviously I do mean I pressed some buttons and hoped and prayed. But luckily we are doing well with it, and unfortunately Wilson can't bag another goal, his fourth goal of the game. But right now we can't be complaining. Beggars can't be choosers. A 3-0 lead is certainly what we want. Alright, yes, Turan is coming off, but that is only because he's got a yellow card and we cannot afford to lose that man for a single game. He is an absolute god on our side, and if he doesn't win the Player of the Year, there will be no justice. We're up in 6th place right now, not exactly where we want to be. We're not even, well, we're just over halfway on the points that Liverpool do have, which is really not exactly what we were planning at the start of the series. But at the end of the day, like I said at the very start of the episode, if this was any other series and the goal wasn't to win the Premier League, I'd be super happy with how we're doing for Bournemouth. I'm not very good at this game. Coming 6th place with a team that finished 14th place the year before, that's pretty good for me. The highlight goes on, and it looks like Newcastle are going to be the team with an attacking opportunity, but the final whistle does spoil that for them, and we will certainly take a 3-0 win away from home against Newcastle. Let's hopefully take that momentum into our next game against Burnley. You know what, I'll tell you guys a funny story about Burnley. So, you know how this series is all about how we're using a team that finished 14th place or lower? Well, for some reason, I thought that last year in the Premier League, Burnley were the team that finished 14th place. I even started the save. I was recording half of the first episode. I made some transfers. I even created all the thumbnails, all the logos, everything. It was all ready to be replicating Ranieri, starting with Burnley. But then I actually took a look at who got the 14th place last year, and it was Bournemouth, and I had to double check it about 5 times to make sure, because I was like, I swear I read that Burnley were the team that came 14th, but unfortunately all my hard work went down the drain. But you know what, we're going to keep the quality content going on this channel, the realistic, the accurate content going, as you guys all know that you come here for. Because I know you guys don't come here for Football Manager tips, I know you guys don't come here for the quality commentary, I know that you guys don't come here for the quality content. So that only means you guys are coming here for the quality, factual advice and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, no, unfortunately we did think we were going to be doing that with Burnley, but I'm happy that we ended up going with Bournemouth. Definitely a bit of an easier side in my opinion, but it would have been pretty cool to play alongside Chris Wood, the New Zealander. You know I guys can't resist playing a New Zealander in my team. Right now we are up in 6th place. Let's jump straight into this next match, which is up against... who is it up against? Oh, I can't remember now. If I look at the teams, yeah, it's Burnley. I just talked about Burnley for like 5 minutes. Don't know how I could forget that. They're down in 15th place. Let's jump straight into it. Hopefully we can come away with all 3 points to continue trying to push into the top 5 places. Very similar lineup to the last match. Unfortunately, Lewis Cook isn't looking completely fit, so we took him out, as well as the fact that King was looking a little bit tired. So 2 switches in there. But if you take a look at the Burnley squad, I think we have a better team than them. But the big man up top, Chris Wood, the Kiwi wonder kid, well, not wonder kid, he's about 28. I wish he got into the Premier League a little bit earlier, and then he might have actually done a really good start to his career, but nonetheless it's always good to see New Zealanders having success at the top level of world football. If you guys are wondering why I'm so excited about New Zealanders, it's just because I'm from New Zealand. There's not much to it, no interesting story, just, you know, bit of patriotism. Here we go with an opportunity. Kelly on the ball, trying to get a ball into the middle, but can't find anyone, but eventually bounces back to Billing, and he can't quite put it into the back of the net. Very, very close though. Good opportunity to start us off, and it looks like this tactic might be working quite well for us, especially against the lower league sides. We need to see how it works up against a little bit better opposition. Not that I'm saying Newcastle and Burnley are the worst teams of all time, but 19th place and 13th place is not exactly the most challenging opponents if you take a look at their league positions. Another chance for Billing, and he has a shot that goes into the back of the net this time. He kicked up a bit of a fuss saying that he wanted a bit more playing time, and he has certainly rewarded that with a goal there. Great opportunity for him, and he puts it into the back of the net, unlike the first opportunity of the game. And now we are 1-0 up, but it is Burnley coming straight back at us through Brady out on the left, not using their wonder kid McNeil. I imagine he's injured and not feeling too well today. Gosh, I'm not his mum talking about him being sick from school. Wilson has an opportunity there and shoots just wide, unfortunately for us. But again, great signs, and 1-0 is probably going to turn into 2-0 if we keep playing the way that we are. Zivkovic putting in a free kick, and it eventually comes to, you know, how do you even say that name actually? I really like him. He's a young superstar. The PH makes an F sound. So, Mifam? Yeah, our young centre-back, let's go with. He puts it into the back of the net. A good assist from Zivkovic. That's his second assist of the match. Not a player that we've used very much this season after signing him on deadline day, but he looks like he might be coming into his own in this match. 2 assists, just like Turan did in the last game. So if he can kick off from here, he could certainly end up having a very good season by the end of the year. Oh, Callum Wilson's picked up a knock. Oh, a bit of a media description of a pacey hitman. Never noticed that one before. Don't think I've ever seen that one before. But unfortunately, Solanke does have to come on. He's a bit of a cursed man in real life, and he is a little bit cursed for us in Football Manager. Hasn't done anything so far this series, but I'm sure he might be able to turn it around. If he scores 1 goal, that's all he needs probably. Just 1 goal to get him a little bit of momentum and keep him going at the start of this season. But he hasn't done it just yet, and hopefully it does come in this game. Zivkovic looking for his 3rd assist of the match, and Solanke trying to get that goal, but it goes just over the crossbar, and that would have been great for that man's confidence. But unfortunately it goes just over the bar, and it stays at 2-0. Another opportunity straight after that. Kelly putting in the ball. Zivkovic trying to get a goal now, and he can't quite put it into the back of the net. Good save from Pope, but he clears it long, and the chance continues. Eventually comes back to us. Zivkovic on the ball again, playing it to Hendrick. I feel like I've just worked out how to say Zivkovic, and now I'm just flexing it, you know? It's like when you learn a new word, and you're just like whipping it out in every sentence, you know? If you learned the word, pineapple, you'd be whipping it out. I had a pineapple for dinner the other day. Don't know why pineapple was the example that I came up with, but let's roll with it. Lerma on the ball, probably with the last chance of the match. Smith looking for the back to Billing, and Billing gets his second goal of the match. I don't know what that black square up in the top corner was. Probably got a virus on my computer. As I said before, my computer is an absolute potato. Need to get an upgrade. But let's not focus on that right now. Let's focus on the great goal from Billing, and that is his second goal of the match, certainly repaying my faith in him for bringing him on, giving him an opportunity, and he will certainly be starting the next match. No two ways about it. Another chance for us. I thought that we would be ending the chances by now, but Zivkovic is on the ball once again. A good tackle by Ben Mee, I think it was there, but we do eventually get back into the right area, across the top of the crossbar, and it goes out for a corner kick. Actually, I don't know if it was the top of the crossbar. It must have been a save from Pope if it ended up being a corner, but nonetheless doesn't amount to anything, and we're just going to be ticking down the clock here unless we have an opportunity from this free kick. Zivkovic putting in the ball, but eventually gets cleared away, and now we probably should be seeing the end of the highlight. Full time, 3-0 win. Can't ask for any more than that. 3-0 win in this match, and a 2-0 win in the first match. No, another 3-0 win in the first match. Completely forgot about that. 6-0 overall on aggregate for those two games. Honestly, I'm not going to complain. I did not expect that going into this match. I did not think that my tactical changes would help at all. Like I said before, I'm not a tactics kind of man. I'm not actually a football manager kind of man. I love this game, but it doesn't mean that I'm any good at it, as I always say. But I'm happy to come away with 6 points from those two matches. This is where we're going to end this episode, though. Thank you guys so much for watching, as per usual. Make sure you subscribe for daily Football Manager content. We will jump back into this series sometime around the January transfer window sort of area. Don't have a lot of money to spend right now, but we will certainly be looking to make some sales to boost the old kitty and try and get a little bit more money into the bank account. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.